Falcon Challenge Cameron Masters. Hello Tracker Def, my name is Cameron.
Nice to meet you, Cameron.
I'll be teaching you through your new workout regime you're going to be doing today. So, the program we've designed for you is called a circuit workout, which means there's going to be a selection of exercises, so 5 exercises, with a minute's rest in between. So you're going to do one exercise, then a minute's rest, followed by another exercise, followed by another minute's rest, and so on and so forth until you've finished your 5 exercises. Okay? Now, the 5 exercises I'm going to be teaching you is kettlebell swings, kettlebell clean and press, goblet squats, burpees, and planks. Okay? So, we'll start from the top. We'll go through a quick warm-up, okay, which is going to be some dynamic stretching. We'll start with some leg swings. So just swinging one leg back and forth, get that leg moving. Okay?
I might use the chair.
You might need a chair,
Yeah.
okay. Well, if you can't do the exercises standing, we'll get you a chair and you can lean on that and use that for some support. So swing that leg back and forth. And then switch legs once you feel it's necessary. Yeah, this might help if you hang on to this side of the chair and face that way. You are. Excellent. Okay, and the next warm-up I'm going to teach you is another variation of the leg swing. It's just back and, so the back and forth one helps stretch your hamstring out and move your hip flexors around. This one's called this side. Leg swings, they're dead easy to do. This helps loosen up your hips. Swing back and forth like so. Okay, and then switch legs after about 15 seconds of each. Okay. Now the reason we do dynamic stretches when we're doing the warm-ups is because it helps activate the muscles that's going to be used throughout the workout. It helps to get your blood rate up, helps to get the blood moving around, helps the muscles get activated and gets you ready for the workout. Okay? Now the next one I'm going to teach you is some hip rotations. These are dead easy, helps open up your hip girdle, helps move your lower back around, gets all these, helps get all these muscles moving. So they look silly, but they work. So feet shoulder width apart, hands on hips and rotate. Okay. After about 15 to 20 seconds, switch directions. Oops. Excellent. Okay, now the next one I'm going to teach you is called torso twist. Hands out in front of you and you twist. Don't force it, only go as far as you're comfortable going because you hurt yourself otherwise. So, okay, start off nice and light. And start going a little bit further once you feel more comfortable doing so. Okay. Alright. Next exercise I'm going to teach you is some arm swings. So you can start these just by going back and forth like this. It's exactly what you think it might be. Arm swings are dead easy to do, but it helps move your shoulders around, gets all the small muscles in your shoulders primed, ready to use them for exercise. If you don't do that, it's a very easy way to hurt yourself because the shoulder is such a complex joint. Okay? And once you've done some of these, you can do them low, do them straight back, you can do them high. There's so many different variations you can do of these, and they really, really help to warm your shoulders up. Okay? After we've done some of these, we're going to do arm rotations. Okay. You can go a little bit faster if you want to. Okay, and in the other direction. Excellent, well done. Okay, now we're all warmed up for the exercise. I'll walk you through each one and show you how to do them. You're not going to need a lot of equipment for this routine. All you're going to need is a kettlebell that's a comfortable weight that you can use. I've got a nice light one here for today's presentation. Yourself and your willingness to do the exercises. So, first one I'm going to teach you, kettlebell swings. These are about as simple as you can get. However, there's a lot involved. Sounds counterintuitive. Once you get it, you won't forget it. So, start the kettlebell in between your legs, feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, give you some nice sturdy base. Hold the kettlebell in your hands, hang it in your hands like this in a pronated position, okay? You start the movement with your quads, your hips and your glutes, okay? You don't want to start the movement with your back, because that's putting you at a risk for hurting yourself, okay? So you bend your knees slightly, making sure to point your toes at 45 degrees so they're not at a weird angle, okay? Bend your knees, push with your legs, glutes and your hips, straight up, and you want to help with this will help if your shoulders are pointing in that direction as well, and you want your shoulders to be at about 90 degrees at the top of the arc, okay? When you're doing these, it's important to keep your back in a neutral position. So you want to keep your core braced, keep your back straight, keep your shoulders back and your chest proud, if that makes sense. That'll help keep your back safe and your chin up. If you start looking down or caving your shoulders, your back's in a dangerous position, so you want to keep your back straight and neutral, okay?
Okay.
So, chip puff. So when you're doing these, you want to perform these for a straight minute. So, just go through a few of them so I can have a look at your technique. So feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing out slightly. Start the movement with your hips, your quads and your glutes. So start, and then when you swing, you want it to be 90 degrees. Good, push with your hips. Excellent. Technique's very good. So chest proud, core braced, chin up. Excellent, there you go. You're a natural. Alrighty, so after you've done this exercise for a minute, you'll then take a break, plonk that down. Make sure you keep yourself hydrated when you're doing these, when you're doing this exercise, because it can be quite a strenuous exercise program. Okay, so make sure you have a drink of water in between your breaks if you need to. Take a seat if you really want to, if you're out of breath. One when you're falling over mid-workout. Okay. When you're exercising, you want to be you want your intensity to be at about a 7 out of 10, okay? The way you can test that is if you're out of breath and you can get some words out. This is called the talk test, okay? This is one of the simplest ways you can measure your intensity during the workout. You can do it the complicated way. So, you take your heart rate, which means you take your fingers, you place them on your pulse. You take how many beats you measure in 15 seconds. You times that by 4. That'll be your current heart rate. And then you take that and you compare it to your max heart rate, which is 220. Take away your age, that'll be your max heart rate, and you can use that as a comparison as to how hard you're working. However, if you don't feel like doing all that math when you're out of breath, you can just use the talk test, which is a much simpler way of doing it. Now, after you've had your minutes rest, the next exercise we're going to do is kettlebell clean and press. Now, feet shoulder width apart, one hand, bend your knees, don't yank it with your back because you'll hurt yourself. Start with the legs, lift with the legs. You want to bring the kettlebell straight up, almost like a rowing position, so watch the arm, up into a row, turn your arm, okay, so it's resting on the back of your hand like that, okay, that'll keep that supported, support the weight in your hand so it's in a neutral position. You don't want your shoulder to be at 90 degrees, because that puts your shoulder joint in a dangerous position, especially if you're doing these quickly, you'll hurt yourself. So you want your shoulder to be almost at a 45 degree angle. That'll activate your front deltoid and then will allow you to press the weight more comfortably. Okay? So straight up, onto the back of your hand, 45 degrees, press straight in the air. Okay? Bring it back down, nice and safe, switch arms, and you'll keep doing this for a minute. Okay? There we go. Alright, so just have a crack at those. Let me have a look at your techniques, see if you can do them for me. So straight up, onto the back of the hand. Now you don't want to bicep curl it, okay? You want to, here, let me have a look. So you don't want to bicep curl it like that. you want to almost use the momentum and bring it around, okay? Like a spinning motion,
Okay.
okay? Like so. So watch the hand. Like that, okay? Give it another go for me.
Sorry.
There you go. So it's resting on the back of your hand. Let it relax in the palm of your hand there. Bring it out at 45 degrees. Yep. And straight in the air. There you go. Bring it back down. Straight to the floor. And switch arms. There you go. Perfect. Now you can do these. I want you to perform these at around about 7 out of 10. That's the aim. However, if you don't feel comfortable doing them that quickly and intense, just do them at a rate that is comfortable for you until you can get a hang of the technique. Alright? After you've done these for a minute, take a minute's rest, and then we'll move on to the next exercise, okay? Feel free to grab a drink of water if you need to. Alrighty, so the next exercise I'm going to teach you is goblet squats. These are really easy, these ones. All you need is a kettlebell. Now, feet slightly wider than shoulder width, toes pointed out at 45 degrees, like so. So your toes are in line with your knees. Alright, you want the kettlebell out in front of you like this. You can hold it like that or like that. Doesn't really matter as long as you're holding onto the weight. Don't drop it on your feet. Okay. Depending on where you hold the weight, depends on how hard you want to make the exercise. Okay, so if you've got it nice and close to you, it's about as easy as you can get it. If you've got it out in front of you like this, it's going to be quite difficult. It's going to tax your shoulders as well. That's a more advanced movement you can graduate to once you've gotten really comfortable with doing the regular goblet squats that I'm going to show you right now. So, weight in front of you like this. Don't rest it on you. Keep your shoulders back, core braced, chin up, chest proud, okay? Start the movement at your hips, then break at the knees, if that makes sense. So watch the hips, watch the knees, then you squat until you get nearly all the way down, and you push your knees out in order to complete the squat. You want your knee and your hip to be parallel, so you want a 90-degree angle at the hip, okay? From there, straight back up, and it's as simple as that. You're going to be doing these for a minute, all right?
Okay.
Now, if you want to have a crack at that, I'll have a look at your technique. Yep, so feet 45 degrees apart, so break it, chest up, back straight, core braced. There you go. Excellent. You needed no coaching whatsoever, those were absolutely perfect. Well done. Now, the next exercise I'm going to show you, after you've had your minute's break, so pop that kettle down for me. Yep, there we are. The next exercise I'm going to show you, you're not even going to need a kettlebell. But arguably, this is the most difficult exercise. So, burpees. You want to put your hands on the floor, bring your feet straight back, into a push-up position, and then your feet back to their original position, jump, straight back up, little jump at the top. Okay? These are a real cardio killer. I hate these, but they're very, very good for you. So, I'll show you that movement again, nice and quick. Okay?
Yeah.
You can do them slowly, but they're not quite as difficult. I'd like you to try them the difficult way first. If you just demonstrate for me, I'll make sure your technique's correct. You'll be doing these for a minute. Straight back, straight up, little jump. Perfect. Don't mind sitting, it's okay. Right, it's not going to hit back, don't worry about it. So, try that one again. Keep your hands in front of you, don't raise them out the back, so up. There you go. Now, when you're doing these, you want them to be in one fluid motion. So, feet back, and then jump. Okay? One more time for me. Jump. Perfect. That's how you do burpees. Now you need to continue doing those for a minute, then have another minute's rest. Now, final exercise we're going to do is planks. It's important to get your core working, otherwise you're going to hurt your back. Okay? This helps keep your abs nice and strong. Your core is one of the most important parts of your body. If your core's not strong, nothing else is going to be supported. So if you're doing overhead press, your core's involved. You're doing squats, You're doing squats, your core's involved, right? Even deadlifts, your core is involved. Doing any sort of lifting exercise, your core is probably involved. So it's important to keep your core nice and strong. So when you're doing planks, your elbows on the floor in a parallel position like so. Feet behind you in the push up position. Okay? When you're doing these, I want you to clench your butt cheeks, your glutes here, squeeze. That'll help keep your back rigid and straight. Tuck your pelvis under to activate your abs. Yeah? So when you're supporting your weight, I'll show you how to do it. So squeeze glutes, tuck your pelvis under, try and keep your back as straight as possible, alright? You should be able to sit on the back without falling off or sliding off, okay? Hold this for a minute. After you've done it for a minute, take a rest. That is your final exercise for this circuit workout. Have a minute's rest, take a drink, and you'll start the next round again. You'll want to do this 3 times, okay? Alright, now I've shown you through your workout, I'll show you how to do a little bit of a warm down. This is very similar to the warm up, only instead of doing dynamic stretches where you're doing a lot of movement, this is just going to be a nice, gentle stretching cool down, okay? Now you can either choose to go for a walk on the treadmill for a couple of minutes just to bring your heart rate down and relax yourself a little bit, then you can do your regular stretches, but the stretches are the important part. So we'll start with a real simple one. We'll do a quad stretch. Okay, just hold you there. You can use a chair for a bit of support if you need it. Yeah, I'll grab me a glass of water for you. Yep. You can stretch your quad out, use a chair for a bit of support if you need it. There you go. Alright, and after you've done that one, we'll go down to the floor. This one is called pigeon pose or a glute stretch, as a lot of people call it, if you're not a yoga instructor. So you want your leg out in front of you like this, almost crossed over, the other leg straight out behind you, okay? And you want to relax your weight onto your front knee here, and that will help stretch out your glute, which is a lot of what we've been using throughout this workout when you've been doing things like kettlebell swings and squats and things like that. Alright. Now the reason why we stretch when we're warming down is because it helps return your muscles to the original length that they were. So we've lengthened them, we've stretched them, we've put them under stress, which was the idea of the workout, so they will repair and come back stronger next time. But the idea behind stretching is to ensure that you remain limber and that you don't get all stiff and sore over the next couple of days if you're beginner. It's always important to stretch. Okay. Once we've done the glute stretch, we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So, on one knee, squeeze your glute, tuck your pelvis under like we did with the planks, and I just want you to apply a little bit of pressure, come forward and stretch that hip flexor out. You should feel a stretch here at the front of your leg, okay? After you've held this for about 20 to 30 seconds, switch to the other leg. Okay. After we stretched our legs out, we'll stand up and do some other stretches as well. No, wait, we have to do an ab stretch, my apologies. Alright, so next stretch I'm going to teach you is a double whammy. So it's going to be an ab stretch followed by a lat stretch as well. So in the push-up position, only you want your feet flat on the floor this time. Okay? Arch your back, supporting yourself with your hands, and just push up. Look up towards the ceiling to stretch your abs out. Move side to side if you like, just to stretch your psoas and your ab muscles and all that nonsense in there. Helps keep you limber. After you've done this for a little bit, we'll switch to another exercise. We'll switch to another stretch. This is called a lat stretch. So hands out in front, stretch as far as you can. Try and reach and push your head in between your shoulders, like so. straight down at the floor. So you want to really focus on stretching your lats. Move your arms to the side slightly and lean into it. Okay? There you go. Now you'll hold these stretches for 20 to 30 seconds like you have done with the rest of them, and then we'll move on to the next one. Excellent. Alright, so last few little stretches we're going to be doing. We'll do some shoulder and pec stretches. So, shoulder out in front of you, bring your other arm underneath, stretch that shoulder out, okay? And then switch to the other one. Excellent. Brilliant. And now for the pec stretch we're going to do, lean against the wall at about 90 degrees of the wall, and just turn your torso so you feel the stretch in your pec. Don't push too hard because you don't want to pull anything in there, just enough to stretch the pectoral muscle at the front here. And then we'll switch to the other arm. Okay, well, that was your entire workout. Warm up, workout, and a cool down. Is there any questions you'd like me to answer for you?
No.
No? Excellent, well, it was lovely to meet you. I wish you the best of luck in your exercise, yeah?
Okay, thank
Brilliant.
you.